Guys, it's Israel here from Smooth Trades. I want to quickly analyze a stock with you today. This stock is ARDX. This stock went pretty crazy today. I want to take a look at how we could have predicted these moves and what I mean by it going pretty crazy. So we'll take a look at that together. I'm removing the trend lines that I had on it previously. A lot of these moves were very easy, predictable moves, and I love that. What we're looking at here is how to take a low risk trade. Okay, how to take a low risk, high reward trade. That's what we're looking at here. All right, so the first thing I do in the morning is I want to see what stocks are gapping up. So on Bar Chart, which is a software that I really trust and I love the information that it gets, that it provides for me, I go here to gap up and gap down. So that's going to show me a list of the stocks that are gapping up in the morning. Okay, even at the end of the day, I can still look at this list. So we see a number of stocks pop up here. What I'm going to do is customize this to my liking. So I know that I like stocks that are in the price range of $1. I don't usually go for $1 stocks. I like them to be in between $3 and $10. But I still want to see them even if they're a dollar. So I like my stock price range in that nothing above $15 max. Okay, so we're going to pull that screener up. I already have it saved. There we go, last price, less than $15. So that's going to show me all of the stocks that gapped up this morning that are less than $15, okay? And then the next thing I want to look at is I want to make sure that this is organized by the gap up percentage so I can see what happened throughout the day. All right, so now I got a list of stocks that gapped up this morning. You see CDTX is the first one, gapped up 62% this morning. And most likely these are off of good news. I got a number of filters here that help me choose which stock I want to look at closer. So I know the price, I know how much it's changed in dollar amount, I know the change percentage, how much it gapped up in dollar amount, the gap up percentage, its previous high, low, the amount of volume that's going on for that day, and its average volume over the past 3 months, and then its float size, along with some other things here. All right, so I got some good information immediately about these stocks. So one of the things I love about Bar Chart is, once I have a selection of stocks like this, I can look at each of these from a technical analysis point of view. So essentially what I want to do is look at the charts, right? The chart's going to give me the information that I need regarding where should I get into the stock, where should I get out, things like that. It's going to show me historical price data. So for this one, I clicked more charts so I can see each of them by the chart. And then it shows me every stock that was on that previous gap up list, but it's showing me each stock by chart. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the chart first and foremost. Okay, so CDTX, this was the leading gapper this morning. But as you can see, this was in a down trend. I'm not a fan of downtrends. Okay, it hit its bottom right here. I'm not a big fan of downtrends because that means the stock is already working against you. So for something like this, I'm not super interested. I also can't find definitive places to draw my support and resistance line on this chart. Okay, so for example, right here we've got a bottom of I don't know. So let's pull it up on Thinkorswim. So we got CDTX, right? That was the stock, and then we'll look at it from a 1 year time frame, 1 year, 1 day. All right, so I drew some information here. So this is the bottom. It hit a low of 122, but this was the first time that it ever hit this bottom. So technically, this was also a bottom previously. This was also a bottom. This was a bottom. What I like to see is multiple points of confirmation. So I want to see it hit this bottom once, and then I also want to see that it hit this bottom previously in May at some point. Same level. It hit it in November of last year. I want multiple points of confirmation that yes, This is truly a support level. You don't get that with this stock. It touches once here, and then it breaks through that support here, so this doesn't count. Then this bottoms out right here. This becomes the new low, but then it breaks below that, and this becomes the new low. So imagine if you get into this stock, and right here you think that this is the support, right? It does do a nice bounce. You'd be profitable on that. But how would you know that this is absolutely the bottom? You wouldn't, right? This would be the first time that it touched, and so the next time you'd be looking for, a bounce right here, right? And you wouldn't get that. It would just keep dropping on you. You'd lose your money. Then the next time it'd go to this low right here, right? And you say, okay, if it gets to this level again, I'm going to get in. And then look, it just keeps dropping down, surpasses right past that level. So this doesn't have reliable resistance and support areas that I can define. So I'm just not going to mess with this stock. Plus, it's in a downtrend. So technical analysis already off for me based on just the chart. Moving on to the next stock, ARDX. Loved this stock, but I'm going to show you why. So let's pull this up on the 1 year, 1 day chart. ARDX, I think it was. D as in David, X. There we go. All right, so look at the difference here. Number one, when you look at the stock immediately, you know that it's not in a downtrend. It's actually in a nice uptrend here. It's retesting some previous highs right here. And it looks like it's been consolidating for some time. It's been going up and then down and then up, So this stock is very easy to draw some lines. So let's go ahead and draw some points. So right here, I see this was the previous high recently. And then you also see, well, technically this was the previous high, but this was the highest that it got to, in the past 4 or 5 months. You see that there, and I also see that it was a point of resistance right here as well. Point of resistance right here, but it was also support right here and support right here. So that's 4 touches along this area. So let's draw a line right along that. So right there we have a nice area. And remember, this stock gapped up this morning. So it was already above this line. But drawing this line, putting a line here, means that now that this stock is above this level, we can use this line for support. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and color that green. That's just basically saying if this stock gets to this level, this is a great place to buy in. Okay? Cool. Where's our next area of support or resistance or some form of something, right? Right here we see we've got a previous all-time high, right, based on the past year, okay? But let's zoom it out a little bit more to see if that's actually true. So I'm going to go to a 2 year, 1 day time frame, and what you see is that same level right here, 2 years, right here, has also been touched here, 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 and kind of here in this area, but also here and here. So that's a lot of touches right there, right? So let's go ahead and draw a line right there. Boom. We get across that area. We're going to draw that straight across. And what that is, now we have our next level of strong resistance, okay? We have this next level of strong resistance, a touch here, 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 and then breaks down, finally breaks below that level of support. Then it becomes resistance, a touch here, kind of a touch here, like pretty close, and then it breaks down, okay? So now we know that this was resistance earlier. All right, so it broke through that level. Where's our next level of resistance or support? Right here, all right? We see that? One touch here, one touch here, one touch here, then it breaks through. After it breaks through, it comes back down, so it couldn't hold it as support, but then it gaps above right there, as you can see. And then, right here becomes resistance again, breaks above it right here. The next line becomes support, so touch right there, goes on a nice little run, and then touches down here, finds support again, then breaks below, tries to get above it again, resistance, resistance, resistance and then drops below. So this is another critical level right here. And this is what I'm looking for with these stocks. I want to see definable, difficult, challenging levels that, levels of resistance that they had a hard time breaking. And I also want to see easy, identifiable levels of support where you should get in because it has a high chance of bouncing, right? Right here was a high chance of bouncing. Boom. Another high chance. Boom. Comes back against this line, bounces. Boom. Touches it again, bounces. Boom. Nice. This is what you want to see in a stock, okay? You want to see clear areas to get in, clear areas to get out. Let's draw another line, see if we can find another level. I would say right here, right? We had a nice breakout right here, and then right here, it hit that same level, had a little bit of a difficult time, bounced down, and then broke above it a little bit. Couldn't get all the way above, couldn't confirm it, so it dropped. And then finally it broke out at this level up here, but then it never became support. It just broke right through this line. So this was a great resistance area for it. Never became support, but this is an important line right here. So we'll draw that as probably its next leg up since it's already surpassed that on the day. So great. Look at that. We now have our levels of resistance and levels of support. Okay. So now let's zoom in and get a little bit closer. All right. So we've got our 15-day 5-minute chart here. Gets to tell you, gives me an idea of what's been going on for the past 15 days. I can see just consolidation has been going on, right? The biggest volume has been right here. Okay. So that's huge. Hold on one second, guys. That is huge. Hold on. All right, so that's huge. So what you can see is that it's been consolidating and then suddenly it had a massive breakout today. Why did it have this breakout? Well, as a trader, one of the things you're looking for on a stock is you're looking for it to have a good price so you can get in at a good number of shares so you can be able to be profitable in the trade. Also, you're looking for news to see if that's something that would move the stock. So right now we're going to look for news to see if that's something that pushed it. And right here you see that we've got one news line right here. I don't think that's what it was. I think it was this news report right here around 7 a.m. right? That says the company announced positive results from the pivotal Phase 3 Amplify study evaluation. So I don't even need to click into this link. I can just to take a closer look and get some more information, but immediately you get a sense that this is really good news for the company. They announced positive results, so those are a great couple keywords right there. From a pivotal, so that's obviously a huge keyword right there. Phase 3, so that means it's done Phase 1, done Phase 2, and crushed Phase 3, which is an important phase if you think of it like a video game. You've got level 1, which is always going to be easy. Level 2 is going to be more challenging. Level 3 is going to be definitely more challenging. So this just crushed a challenging level, which is great news for the stock. All right, so we can see that good news is what really pushed the stock high. And I know from taking a look at the stock earlier that it's around 38 million in float. So it's also, I'd say a medium range float. I like the stock's float range to be from 1 million to 50 million. So 38 million is somewhere above midway. So that's going to cause some good movement because obviously supply and demand, right? If you don't have many stocks to sell, but you have a lot of people there that want it, then that's going to push the price higher and higher and higher. On the opposite end of that, if there's a lot of people selling and you don't have as many people willing to buy, that's going to drop the cost of it, right? So float is a huge thing to look for, okay? All right, so let's take a look at the story for today of what happened. So as we can see, the stock gapped up in the morning in pre-market and came down and touched what level? It literally perfectly hit our first level of support, right? And what level is this? This is $3.76. Let's take a look at what that is on the chart. We go back to the 1 year, 1 day chart. We see that $3.76 area right here, 77 cents. It tapped this level. This is a level that we thought would be a crucial area, right? Because it hit before here, hit before here, hit before here, and hit here, obviously. So it hits that level earlier this morning, drops down, touches that, and then bounces back and recovers and has a nice rally from that area, all right? So that would have been an excellent, this would have probably been the best place to get into this stock the entire morning, okay, the entire day actually. This would have been the most ideal place. Then it runs into a little bit of a pre-market high wall right here. As you can see, this was the pre-market high, so it had a hard time breaking above that area. So this is a little intraday chart. You see at a little triangle pattern here going, where you see it was climbing up this level earlier, right about here. Grind it up nicely right there, we'll say. So touch this area once, touch this area twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a lot of touches. So that means that this trend line right here was support for this stock. Okay, it was grinding up, and it was using this trend line to hold it up and help it get up, help it get a bit higher. But also, this area was resistant, so it tried to get above this area right here, couldn't. Tried to get above this area right here, it couldn't. Tried to get above this area right here, it couldn't. Tried again right here, and it couldn't. Then it finally broke through, right? Finally broke through and was on its way up. So that was a great intraday pattern that you could have drawn to make some profit. The second level of resistance was right here, all right? And this was from where? 473. Let's take a look at what 473 is on the chart on the 1 year, 1 day. 1 year, 1 day, 473 is right here. And we actually have to zoom out to a 2-year perspective in order to see what that is. Right here, 473-ish, that area, right? And where is that resistance? Right here. Boom. One touch there. Support right here. Support right here. Support right here. Support right here. And support right here. So we all know that support becomes resistance, and resistance becomes support, right? So in this case, because it was below this line, this is resistance. And so it had a hard time getting above this area right here, the 472 area. Boom, boom. And then it broke through, and it was off to the rallies. Why? Because the next level of resistance isn't until 574. 574 was where on the daily chart? Let's go to a 3-year perspective. 574 was right about here, okay? And that's a touch there, that's a touch there, that's a touch there. That's a couple touches around this area, support, and there's a resistance here. So he had a hard time breaking above that area because it was previously support in prior years, okay? Boom, this would have been a great place to short the stock. I thought at this point it was very overextended and would possibly come down. I honestly didn't think that it would break this level. It did, but I thought it was really overextended and could have been shorted. And I would have been right. If you would have shorted it here, drops all the way down to 530 before recovering. So that's what, like about 40 cents gain right there that you could have had. Somewhere around that. Don't depend on my math. That would have been a nice profit right there. And this would have been really easy because all you would have had to do, let me zoom in for you. This is that area right here where it touched right here and then dropped. All you would have had to do is draw a trend line right here of where it continues to touch. Right, so it's touching there. Touch there, we got 2 touches there. 1, 2, and then you get out at the break of that trend, right? It also had support here a couple of times, so you see that. So you got to draw some intraday patterns as well. Touch there, touch there, touch there. Those levels were support. Then a little bit pretty close right there, bounces back. Touch there, and then breaks out of that downward triangle. So this would have been where you covered your short. And then again, right here, tries to break through, can't, drops down, right? And then it grinds back up and finally gets through. So great entry spots and exit spots can be defined using the long-term chart, okay? What happened last year and the previous year? Where were some critical price areas? What happened 2 years ago? Where were some critical price areas? And what happened 3 years ago? Where were some critical price areas? And use that data to take a look at today's price action and to identify a low risk, high reward area to get into the stock. So you're not beating your head against the wall for major losses. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.